of the most important topics that we talk about every year when it comes to pre-emergence and their timing and what to use and how to apply them. So I'm just going to kind of lay out some steps on looking at various pre-emergent timings, applications, methods, different types, granulars, sprayables. So there's a bunch of different options that you can use, but the main thing is there's probably 3 products that we use for pre-emergence, and the biggest target would be crabgrass. That being said, prodiamine, pendimethalin, and dithiopyr are the 3 most common that we use for crabgrass control. And the reason that crabgrass is one of the most important ones that we want to control is because if we do nothing for that weed, it does a very good job and it's pretty persistent, and we don't see it until it's too late, and then it takes over our thinned out areas in the lawn. So one thing we want to make sure we do is target that first weed, and then it's going to pick up on some of the others. So when looking at some of the different herbicides, they do have different modes of action. With prodiamine and pendimethalin, they're strictly pre-emergent herbicides. So if we're looking at controlling crabgrass, we want to be putting that down before it germinates. And in Nebraska, May 1, anytime before that, typically is a great time to control that with those 2 products. Now getting into dithiopyr, that product actually has post control, so we can apply it to crabgrass that's 2 to 3 leaf or even 1 tiller if we get a good application at the high rate. So that one you can actually put down later. If we wait till we see crabgrass, when it's in the 1 to 2 leaf stage, then we know we should start getting that product out, and it's going to control crabgrass when it's already germinated and up. And a lot of times these products aren't only sprayable, they're carriers with fertilizers. So we want to make sure that we are looking at how much fertilizer we're putting down with these products as well. So typically in the spring, if we're applying May 1, we really don't need that much nitrogen. So targeting a 1/2 pound to 3/4 pound would be plenty. So if you're putting a pre-emergent product down, you want to make sure that you are aware of how much nitrogen you're putting down to get the right rate of the pre-emergent herbicide. Not only is there crabgrass to worry about, but there's other weeds, a lot of broadleaf weeds and annual grasses that are germinating at the same time or shortly after, like goosegrass, foxtail are 2 that are pretty common in Nebraska and can be a problem. The problem with those is that they are bigger seeded types, and we do want to get a good pre-emergent layer down, let's say a high rate, at an optimal time in order to control those. And one way to do that is to do split applications. So if we're applying early in the year, let's say April 15th, let's say come June 1, that pre-emergent might not be as effective. So if we do split applications where we're putting 2 half rates down, we might have a better chance at controlling some of those tougher to control weeds. So with looking at just your general recommendations here in Nebraska, a single application May 1, and depending on the year, nothing's written in stone, so watch the weather. If we have a cooler spring, that can be pushed back. It's not all date specific, so you want to watch that, and it's okay to change your plans. Just have one going forward.